Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to look at mental preparation for racing. This will apply across multiple distances but particularly be relevant over the marathon. Now weirdly for a video on mental preparation we're going to actually look at logistics and organisation first off. The reason being that if you're organised, if you're prepared and ready, then mentally you've got one less barrier right from the start point. There's nothing worse than turning up to race having loads of question marks in your mind about where do I go for this, what time does this happen, where are the toilets, any of that stuff. You want to just get that all out of your mind beforehand, be really well prepared. Makes a massive difference, especially if you're someone who overthinks a bit like me anyway. So knowing that when you're going to be starting, what time you're going to eat last, when you need to go to the toilet, when you want to start your warm-up routine, exactly where you need to go, all this kind of stuff can make a massive difference. But other things like course research, knowing where the hills are going to be, this allows you to, on the day, go into it not looking at what's going, oh, I'm slowing down. Oh, this is horrible. I'm really suffering and this is going to suck from here. And actually go, cool, I'm slowing down, but I remember this is a hilly section, whether you have a note on your hand or whether you just remember it. Essentially, if you know that you're going to find a slightly slow down happening or that you're going to find a section tougher, cool, you can run with that and you go, cool, I can just put that behind me, not worry about it. It's going to be a slower section of the course. We'll move past it. That's a really handy tip. The other side as well is training in your race kit beforehand. So knowing that the belt feels comfortable, your heart rate monitor is fitted properly, your shoes are really comfortable over longer distances, anything you can possibly think of to make sure that you are 100% going to be comfortable on the day. Your hydration pack fully loaded with drink and gels and phones and anything else you want to take with you. All of this stuff in training means that you're well prepared for race day. So you've got your course research, your organizational research beforehand, and training and race kit. Those are three really, really easy things to do just to make sure that you can relax in the day and feel comfortable and just focus on the effort. Now, focusing on effort is the next part of this, and really where the mental preparation comes in its kind of truest form. So having mental tactics, whether you have mantras, whether you count, whether you listen to music, whatever works for you, there are tons of ways of doing this. Counting is a really quite an interesting one because it uses a different part of our brain that basically distracts us away from the perception of effort and can lower our effort level. It can be a distraction, so it's worth trying this out in training first to make sure that it works for you and isn't a distraction that negatively impacts your pacing and your movement patterns, for instance. Music can be great because it can really G you up. However, at the wrong time, if you're feeling a little bit ambitious with your pace, the wrong music, which is really pumping you up other times, can make you go a little bit quick. So again, know your own mind, make your playlists, work with what works for you. You might even want to skip around and have a couple of playlists on your watch or your phone that you kind of go, like, I need something calming right now to kind of bring me back down if I'm being a bit too ambitious, or something that pumps you up and really hypes you up if you're feeling a bit of a struggle. I have a separate playlist which has some profanity in the title because that's the way my mind thinks about it, to kind of go, oh, yeah, let's get this last few miles and really push on. My mind works best if I'm challenged and pushed. If I'm struggling and someone says something nice and they go, oh, you're doing great, I completely switch off and it's like, oh, no, I'm not. If I'm really struggling and someone says, but you can't keep this going, I will prove them wrong. I will work my backside off to get that done and to keep pushing. And I talk to myself this way as well. This is the mental preparation I've done over the years and worked on different mantras, different things that remind me of feeling really positive and strong. I'm a massive Rocky fan, so I have notes and quotes on my hand from Rocky. I have course research notes in my right hand that talk about elevation, paces, and stuff like that as well. Anything like that can work really, really nicely for you. Now, talking of paces in particular, this is a weird trick that again works really well for me that may all work for you. Now we're going to be going into our marathon with potentially 3, maybe even 4 time targets in mind, or looking at breaking our PB if nothing else. So I have down the lowest and the slowest of those targets. That is the one that I really keep in my mind. So as I'm running through, say, 10 miles, I'm going, cool, I am now 50, 60, 70 seconds ahead of that pace. Even if that only puts me a couple of seconds ahead of PB pace, I'm running well. I'm ahead of pace. I'm not panicking. I'm thinking how far off I am on really what I was happy to achieve at worst case scenario. Puts me in a really good mindset. If I'm on the other side of it going, oh, I'm only 5 seconds ahead of PB pace, I'm really struggling, I could lose that so quickly, I'm going to more likely to panic, I'm not going to be thinking clearly, I'm not going to be feeling as motivated in all likelihood. So although I like that grin and bear it, grit and determination type of approach when I'm working well, if I'm not and I start to struggle, I'm looking at going, I'm losing time here, then I will really fall apart at times. It's happened in the past, certainly. So know your own mind really is what I'm talking about here as well. So have your paces, work out tactics that work for you. There are loads and loads and loads. There's great books on this topic. There are even people who can coach you on the psychology of running if that's something you struggle with more so. But really, a lot of this stuff we can figure out ourselves if we just have an honest conversation with ourselves, if we keep notes after our runs, particularly our harder sessions or longer runs, know what you think about, what distracts you in a good way, what distracts you in a negative way, and what can get you back into a really good position if and when you start to struggle. Because ultimately, in a marathon in particular, you will struggle. Accept that fact. Don't try and come to a marathon feeling fresh and great. Even if you're not running at a full pace and you're taking it slightly more comfortably, running with a friend, for instance, you will still find patches hard. Whether you find them boring, whether you find it, tedious and you just really want to be done with it all, or whether you're kind of going, actually, this is a little bit tougher than I expected it to be. There will be a point of that, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. So know how to ride that wave and come through it the other side, because it will happen at some point. Whether you struggle and then get worse, or whether you struggle for a moment and actually recover from that as well, can be determined by your own mind as much as anything else. See you soon.